It was the fall semester at Ridgeway University, a quiet liberal arts school tucked deep in Ohio. The campus was calm, surrounded by thick woods that looked beautiful by day, but turned unsettling at night. Emily Carter, a 19-year-old sophomore, had just moved into Hawthorne Hall, an old brick dorm that everyone said was vintage, code for creaky floors, buzzing lights, and thin walls. When she checked in, the resident assistant, Jenna, gave her a key with a faint scratch across the number. "Room 313, Jenna said, forcing a smile. "Top floor, end of the hall." Emily didn't think much of it. She dragged her suitcase up 3 flights of stairs, the wooden steps moaning under each step. The hallways smelled faintly of dust and cleaning chemicals. When she reached her door, she noticed something odd. The number plate was missing, only a faint outline of where the metal had once been. Inside, the room was clean but cold. The window faced the woods, and the air felt heavy, like no one had opened it in months. She set her bags down and turned on the light. It flickered twice before staying on. That night, Emily unpacked her things and video called her best friend, Sarah. "This place is ancient," Emily laughed, turning her phone camera toward the cracked ceiling. "But it's fine. I'll make it cozy." Sarah smirked. "Isn't that the dorm people say is haunted?" Emily rolled her eyes. Every college has those stories. But later that night, she wasn't laughing. At 2:17 a.m., Emily woke up suddenly. The air had turned freezing, and her phone screen, lying on the desk, lit up on its own. A faint tapping sound echoed, tap, 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 from the window. She sat up. Outside was pitch black. Then, from the reflection on the glass, she saw something. A faint outline of someone standing behind her. Emily spun around. No one. Her heart raced. The door was locked, and the hallway light glowed dimly under the door. After a few minutes, she convinced herself it was just exhaustion. The next morning, she went to class, tired but trying to act normal. When she mentioned the strange noises to her roommate, Ashley, a cheerful girl who was barely ever in the room, Ashley froze. "You didn't tell me you were in room 313, she said quietly. "Yeah? What about it?" Ashley hesitated. "My cousin went here 3 years ago. She told me some girl in 313 had a breakdown and disappeared. They said she jumped out the window, but the window was locked from the inside." Emily laughed nervously. "You're kidding, right?" Ashley didn't answer. That night, Ashley stayed at her boyfriend's place, leaving Emily alone again. At 3 a.m., the sound came back. Tap, tap, tap. But this time, it wasn't the window. It was the closet. Emily stared at the wooden door across the room. It was slightly open. She was sure she had closed it earlier. "Hello?" she whispered, feeling stupid for talking to a closet. The door creaked open wider. A cold rush of air filled the room, and she heard a faint voice, a whisper so soft it seemed to come from inside her head. "Don't stay here." The lights flickered violently, and for a split second, Emily saw a pale figure standing inside the closet. Long dark hair, hollow eyes, and a mouth twisted into something between a scream and a smile. Emily screamed and stumbled back, slamming her hand against the light switch. The bulb burst with a sharp pop. When she turned on her phone flashlight, the figure was gone. The next morning, she went straight to the dorm office.
"Someone's in there." The front desk clerk looked up from her computer. "Which room?" 313. The woman's face drained of color. "Sweetheart? There is no 313. That room was closed off years ago." Emily froze. "What are you talking about? I've been sleeping there." The woman stood up and motioned for her to follow. They climbed the stairs together, the clerk trembling slightly. When they reached the top floor, Emily felt her stomach twist. Between room 312 and room 314, there was nothing. Just a section of wall painted over. Same color, same trim. No door. Emily touched the wall, confused. "It's here. I swear it's here." The woman shook her head. "That room was sealed off after a student, well, she didn't make it through her sophomore year. No one goes in there." Emily backed away, heart pounding. "But my stuff is in there." The clerk frowned. "Honey, the master key doesn't even open that space anymore." That evening, campus security accompanied her upstairs. They scanned the wall carefully. Then one guard knocked. Hollow. Another guard found a thin seam beneath the paint, a covered door frame. Using a crowbar, they pried it open. The paint cracked and peeled away, revealing an old door beneath. When they forced it open, a wave of cold, stale air rushed out. Inside was a small dorm room, identical layout, but covered in dust, untouched for years. Her suitcase sat neatly beside the bed. Her phone charger plugged into an outlet that didn't even have power. And on the desk, in a thick layer of dust, were finger marks, spelling out two shaky words: "Help me." Emily screamed and stumbled backward. The guards rushed her out, slamming the door shut. The university sealed off the area again, claiming it was structural damage. Emily transferred dorms that night. But weeks later, she received a package in the mail, no return address. Inside was her dorm key, the one marked room 313, and a small note written on old stationery that smelled faintly of dust and cold air. "Thanks for letting me stay with you. I don't like being alone anymore."